In the 1600s, new settlers crossed the Atlantic, searching for a place where they could live by their conscience. Many, such as the Pilgrims of 1620, sought religious freedom, fleeing persecution in Europe. In the New World, they carved out communities where they could worship and govern themselves. Over the decades, the colonies became more independent, developing their own assemblies, town meetings, and ways of life. But the distant British Crown imposed heavy control, demanding taxes without granting political voice. The colonists cried out, "No taxation without representation." For them, freedom meant self-government, faith without interference, and an escape from the tyranny of a king thousands of miles away. The struggle for liberty erupted into revolution. In 1776, the colonies declared their independence, proclaiming that all men are created equal, endowed with rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Revolutionary War tested these ideals, as farmers, merchants, and soldiers risked everything to break free from Britain. Against a mighty empire, the spirit of liberty kept them fighting. When victory came, freedom took shape in a new constitution. And with the Bill of Rights, Americans secured freedoms of speech, religion, the press, and assembly, principles that would inspire generations to come. Yet, from the very beginning, freedom was incomplete. The same nation that proclaimed liberty also permitted slavery. Millions of African Americans remained in chains, denied the most basic human rights. The contradiction haunted the Republic. Abolitionists like Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, and Harriet Tubman demanded an America true to its ideals. For them, freedom was not abstract. It was the cry of a people longing to be treated as human beings. The conflict grew until it tore the nation apart. The Civil War was fought not just for union, but for freedom itself. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, and in 1865, the 13th Amendment ended slavery forever. But true freedom for Black Americans was still far from reality. After slavery's abolition, the promise of freedom entered a new phase. The 14th and 15th Amendments guaranteed equal protection and voting rights. But in practice, segregation and violence and discrimination kept African Americans from full equality. Still, the spirit of freedom endured. Freedmen built schools, churches, and businesses. Women raised their voices for the right to vote, eventually winning suffrage with the 19th Amendment in 1920. Workers fought for fair pay, safe conditions, and the freedom to organize. Then came the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s. Ordinary men and women marched and boycotted and faced brutality with courage. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. declared that freedom must ring from every corner of the nation. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 were milestones, laws that pushed America closer to its ideals of liberty and justice for all. But the story of freedom did not end there. Each generation has expanded the meaning of liberty. Women fought for workplace equality, reproductive rights, and protection against discrimination. The LGBTQ+ community demanded the freedom to live openly, culminating in the right to marry. Immigrants, too, have sought freedom, the chance to belong, to work, and to dream in the land of opportunity. Even today, debates over privacy, free speech, digital rights, and social justice remind us that freedom is not. The American story of freedom is not perfect, nor is it finished. It is a journey of victories and setbacks, of bold declarations and painful contradictions. But through every chapter, from the pilgrims seeking faith, to revolutionaries demanding independence, to slaves yearning for liberty, to marchers calling for equality, one truth shines. Freedom is the heart of the American spirit. And so, the story continues. Each generation is called to defend, and have lived up to the promise that began in 1776, that all people are created